guys, what is going on? Blossom is back, and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Today we are back with a really special episode, one that I have actually been planning for quite a while with two very talented creators from the community, and that is indeed the Top Drives custom card episode. Today I have two great creators with me, one being Quarantine and the other being Age, or Automotive Gaming Experience, and I will be telling you about their projects and of course their accolades and why they're here. But first of all, why I'm doing this episode is kind of a callback. I've made two of these before in the past. You guys may have remembered. I made one, I think it was called it was one to do with Bavarian cars and another one to do with American muscle. And then the second time I tried doing it was one called England 66 or London 66 or something like that, which was like classic British cars. And then, of course, I made an update, a custom update called the Great Exhibition. Sounds familiar? Because how'd you use the name? But let me put a picture right here because I called it. I should have honestly, what's the word you're looking for? Like, patent it or something? Like, make it mine? I don't know. But I think that's the word, patent? Patron, I don't know, but yeah, I called Great Exhibition. I take pride in that. But anyway, today we're going to be looking at basically two new custom updates made one by Quarantine, one by Age. So we'll be diving into the country of France as well as one that I feel a lot of people would be happy to see, Japan. But before we get into that, let me tell you what these two guys have done. So you might know Quarantine and Age from the community, the Top Drives community, especially the custom card creating community. They are some pretty big names. First off, we have Quarantine. He's gotten second place in Android's card competition, and he has also won 3 card competitions in TDCCS. Next one is Automotive Gaming Experience. He's won 2 TDCCS gold competitions, and he's gotten 4th place in Android's card competition as well. So these guys, they've been making cards for a really long time. They know their craft. So with that said, let me introduce to you one by one. Quarantine, would you like to say hello?
Bonjour.
What is good, man? You have a YouTube channel, isn't that correct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'll give you a time to plug that at the end of the video, but if you guys haven't already, do check out his YouTube videos. Link will be in the description below. Next one, we have Automotive Gaming Experience. What is good, bro?
I'm alright.
Alright, awesome. So, are you guys ready? I'm going to first start off this video asking these two guys some general questions about card creating, and then we'll get into your custom updates. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright, sweet. Let's get into it. So, the first one, let's say Quarantine answers first, Age answers second. So, the first one, pretty simple question. What got you into custom card making?
I think it was 3 months after I started playing. I saw on KT Play there were those custom cards made with a Top Drives Club, and so first off I made them with a Top Drives Club. I made a few of them, and then I started making them on my phone because I saw a tutorial on YouTube, and yeah, I thought it was really cool, so I kept on making them, and now I still make them.
That tutorial that you saw on YouTube, was it from Plush?
No, I think it was a Xang's tutorial.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I want to know how many people actually saw Plushes, because when I got into it, I was only into it for like a week though. I never stayed in it. Probably because I was making videos, but it was Plushes video that really got me into it. That's also how I found TDCCS. But yeah, same question. Oh, sorry. What do you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say that I saw Plush video, but it was really old, and I didn't have a PC at the time, so yeah.
Oh, fairs. Alright, well, same question for Age. What got you into custom card making?
Yeah, I think it's the same for me as well. On KT Play, I think it was a guy called Cigarist made a few. I think that was the first time that I really started seeing them, and then just went from there, really.
That's actually kind of cool that both of you start from KT Play, because KT Play is kind of like this what is it? This place where everybody just goes and memes on other people now. But it's nice to know that there were some positives to come out of KT Play. But the second question now is for both of you, what software do you use?
As I said, I started with my phone. I used to make them with PixArt, and then when I got my computer, I made them with Paint.net. And after that, I think it was 3-4 months ago, I started making them with Inkscape because, in my opinion, they look much better, and the pictures, the renders, everything is much higher quality. So yeah,
That's cool. So out of the three, you would say that Inkscape is your favorite then?
yeah, Escape is my favorite.
Sounds nice. And how about you, Age? Any of the same or any different?
I use Pixar at the start, blur it, put the template on, the simple things. And I use Fonto, which is actually a really underrated app.
What's
for
the app
all
called?
the stats, all the Fonto.
Fonto. Okay, haven't heard that one. So moving on now to the next question. Now this one's a pretty interesting one. What is the hardest aspect of card creation?
It's like easily finding the stats because like for example if you want to do like an old race car or something like just even a modern race car, it's really hard to find the stats for those cars because like manufacturers they don't really talk about them. So like you have to maybe sometimes you have to estimate them, sometimes you just have to like go to really obscure websites and just take a while to find them.
All right. And how about for you, Age? What is the hardest aspect for you when it comes to custom card creation?
For me, probably the getting the picture, blur, and template all on right. I think that might be more of a mobile thing. It's a lot harder.
Okay.
You got to make sure you find a picture that works, or you might have to extend the picture if you really want to use that one.
That's pretty nice that I have actually both of you because we have kind of like Quarantine who represents like the PC, right? And then we have Age that represents the mobile making scene of it. But both of you making, you know, really nice cards in the end. So that's pretty nice. They're kind of like two avenues if you're interested into getting, for you watching, if you're interested into getting into card custom creation, then you can, you know, there are two ways to go. There's mobile and PC as well. But the next one is, do you find it rewarding?
Well, it depends. Like sometimes people can compliment you on your cards. They can say like, "Wow, they're really good looking and stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they can just be like really annoying about it. Like for example, it's not my story, but like I know I got a friend who posted a card on Reddit someday, and like I don't know what was it, but like there was this. It was a 3D card, so like the car in itself was going over the stat box, so it was covering a little bit of the stats,
Mm-hmm.
and like he got like massive amount of hate for this just because you couldn't see like the 0 to 60 or something. So yeah, but in the end, like most of the replies you get are generally positive, so it's really nice.
That's good to know. And on a note on the 3D aspect or the 3D design, I actually like those. I've seen a couple. I think the first time I saw them was from Hero's Instagram, and personally, I like them a lot. I think they're really cool. So I don't know why people are roasting him for that. But yeah, same question for Age. What do you find it rewarding?
Yeah, especially when you win some gold. That's the ultimate prize.
Yeah, that's true. How much gold did you win, by the way? Do you know?
Maybe 700, maybe.
Yo, 700 gold, like just for that's actually pretty good. That's pretty nice. That's stonks right there. But the last question before we get into your personal creations for this video is, what defines a good picture? Now, both of you are really good at finding good pictures, but what defines a good picture? Quarantine.
A lot of, not a lot, but like multiple factors. First of all, it has to be like high quality. For example, you choose a modern car that you can find easy pictures of it. Like if you choose a picture that is in 144p, like it's gonna, yeah. And then the placement, you know, is also important. Like you want the, when you make a card, you want the whole card to be visible in the card because it looks pretty ugly. Like I've seen some pictures, like when I used to make cards with Stop Drives Club, like in really long time ago, sometimes you couldn't see like half of the cars, and it just looked like the pictures that are in game.
No, yeah. So basically, you know, make sure the picture is a really good image, not 144p, and then the crop is good, so you can see the whole car. So basically, like, you know, half of the cars in top drives right now, you can't even see the entire car. So like, don't be like that, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how about for you, Age? What defines a good picture in your opinion?
So if there's action in the picture, so if it's an SUV, if it's splashing through mud or splashing through water, and there's water flying all over the place, or if there's fire shooting or a helicopter or something in the background.
If there's fire
extra.
shooting, yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. It's like basically like if your car is in a Michael Bay film, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. All right, so those are
Like-
all the questions, basically. Oh, yeah, quarantine, yeah.
Like I just wanted to add something. Like when you can find like sometimes you can find a really for certain cars you can find pictures with like good placement, and that's when 3D comes into place because like even if the car in itself is supposed to be behind the stat boxes, well with 3D you can put it over it, and so then you can see the whole car and it still looks better. So that's the advantage of 3D, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I also like just the different layers. I just think it just adds a whole new level of complexity to the card. So I'm a fan of 3D. But after all, that being said, thank you for answering all of the general questions. Now we're going to move on to your custom card. So like I talked about at the start of the video, I made some custom updates back in the past. So some of these are almost 2 years ago, especially I think it was what I called like London UK 66, 1966. Like that was a long time ago. That was 2 years ago. So today we're going to be talking about Quarantine's creation and automotive gamings. So the first one is going to be Quarantine's. We are going to be talking about your French update, basically called the French Touch. Now, please tell me, I'm gonna have pictures all over the screen here so you guys can check it out. But the French Touch, what motivated you to make this? We just had, I guess you can say, European Revolution, which had quite a bit of French cars. But what makes French Touch special from what we've seen in the past?
I mean, I started creating this update like before GE came out, so like there weren't really a lot of French cars before. It was even before GE, so before ER and all that stuff. So like Peugeot hadn't been revamped yet. So yeah, and then there were some new manufacturers that I wanted to see being added, like Matra and Venturi, which are, well, the two new manufacturers in my update. But I wanted to make it because I thought that like there are a lot of French cars in the game, but you can't find really like the really cool ones, because it's just the ones that are in the game aren't the really obscure one that you don't see every day. So that's what I wanted to make this update.
Okay, well, we're going to start off with, I guess, what I think is the nicest car that you made, or the nicest car that you made from this update, and that is indeed the Peugeot 508 SWPSE. You were talking about how you planned this update before ER, before GE. So now ER has happened, and Peugeot has, I guess, technically gotten its Peugeot revamp. You know, the 508 SWPSE is not in the game yet. So how do you feel about that they kind of missed out on this car? Because it actually looks really nice.
I'm kind of sad, but it's okay. Maybe in a future update, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if Hutch is watching this video, you gotta add that Peugeot 508. It actually looks decent. Like I said earlier, it reminds me a lot of, I guess, like an Audi RS6 or a Mercedes AMG. Like, personally, I like this car a lot. I think it looks really nice, and I love estate cars. 5.1 0 to 60, 84 handling, and I think I know that this is also one of your favorite cars. Can you tell me why?
Well, first of all, this generation of 508 is like one of my favorite Peugeots ever made. I think it looks really cool. And then I like estate cars like you. Like estate cars just looks cool, and they are even cooler when they are fast, like this one. Also, the pictures, like, it doesn't really look like a render. I know it's a render, but like you can't really see it.
No, yeah, definitely I can.
And I also like the little green accents on the car. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, and the calipers and everything. I think that's really cool too.
Yeah.
So sticking with Peugeot now, the next one that you have also chosen is the Peugeot 206 WRC. What makes this one so special to you? It actually reminds me of one of the Evos, one of the epic Evos in the game right now, in terms of just the picture, in terms of how it's like, I guess like jumping, but what makes this car special for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my favorite rally car ever. I think it's really cool. It's a really cool car, and like rally cars. My favorite type of race cars are rally cars, and this one is like my favorite one ever. It was added in the game with the update, but I didn't know that when I made it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And then of course, two other cars would be. I think the first one is God, it's the Citroen Sahara WRC. Did I say that right?
The Xara.
Sahara, that's right.
Yeah.
Make sure not to say the
Awesome.
X. But yeah, it's a really good picture. I love it. Like how Age was talking about earlier. You know, look for a car that has like just action going on in the background. It's a really good picture that you chose, and I think the red works really well with the gold and the S. But why was this one of your top cars in this update? Why did you choose the Citroen Sahara?
Well, as I said, I love rally cars, and like this one, this Xara is like the rival of the Peugeot, and I think it was fair for me to make it because Citroen, like, it's not a really interesting manufacturer right now in the game,
Yeah.
and I think it deserves a little bit of cooler cars, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like this will be in the game one day, especially if Hutch decides to make, I guess, a European revamp update along with Audi and Mercedes. I think this is when Citroen will also have the time to shine, because like you said, they're also really underrepresented in the game right now. But definitely, that's a good-looking card. Love the colors in it. But the last one that you chose was the Venturi 400 GT. What makes this super special? This doesn't even look like a French car to me.
Well, I think Venturi is like a really forgotten manufacturer. Like, I mean, it's dead right now. Like, Venturi, I don't think they make cars anymore.
Rip.
But yeah, it's like one of my favorite 90s cars because it just looks cool. The spoiler in the rear reminds me of the Ferrari F4D.
I was gonna say that it does have that 40 vibes, yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole car in itself, it just looks so cool in my opinion. Like the pop-up headlights at the front, you can't see them right now because they're closed, but like the pop-up headlights are really cool. The side vents are also really cool, and yeah, I just love this car in general.
Yeah, it's a well done picture too. I love the angle, and of course, blue and purple works really well together. You have kind of like the detail in the grass, but the simplicity in the sky, which really contrast each other. I think this is a really well made card, one of my favorites as well. But the last thing that we have to talk about the French touch would be the new Yellowbird challenge or the new championship challenge for you're being really generous here, the Bugatti Chiron per Sport. But that's a really cool touch. Any words about that you want to mention?
I think I made that at first for a TDCCS competition, but yeah, and I was like, yeah, why not make a whole update out of it, and so I like for the 6 stages, like in the game, it's like 6 different countries. Well, I just to make it just a little bit harder and just 6 different manufacturers. And my idea is that for the final stages, you have to alternate between like one of each manufacturers, with one being left out every time, and alternating every time. And yeah.
Oh, so kind of like the first level is like Renault, the second level is Citroen, that kind of deal?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I think that's a really cool concept, and I think it'd be pretty cool if Hush could implement it into the game for all countries. So, like, if it's for the US, Dodge have their own thing, Chevrolet, and maybe that would be a way for them to give out the Copo Camaro. I'm not sure, though. That's a pretty cool concept. I'm sure they have their own ideas. But with that said, that is going to be the French touch. Do you have any more words before we move on to what Age has for us?
Not really.
Okay, cool. Well, before that, I'm just going to put some pictures all over the screen of some of the other cars that you made, because you sent me quite a bit. Some really well done work here. But once again, Quarantine, thank you so much. French touch looking really good. And obviously, these creations from these guys are a lot better than what I did in those videos in the past. But now, Age, it's your time to shine. We are going to talk about Tokyo Takedown. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Alright, sweet. So the first car that I guess we want to talk about would be the Toyota GT1. Why is this car so special to you?
I saw the picture and I just knew that I had to make one with that.
Do you know anything about this car as well besides, the picture?
No,
Oh.
literally not.
I thought you would know a little bit of history or something like that. I mean, the stats look insane. 3.3, 97 handling, 236 top speed. But yeah, that is a really good picture. Obviously, no introduction, right? It's the flames that really got you into it, right?
Yeah.
But aside from the flames, is there anything
Yeah.
else in this picture that really caught your fancy?
There's a bit of cloud or a bit of smoke in the top, which contrasts it really well.
You know what I like the most about this picture? It basically looks like the entire picture is black and white besides the car itself. Is it?
Yeah.
Or am I just colorblind?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it actually looks like it's
It's
black
not.
and white besides the car itself. It's a really good picture, and the crop is also perfect. Did you have to edit the picture in a way to make the car fit perfectly, or was it kind of just like a perfect situation?
It was just like that, I think.
Oh wow! Well, that works. That works out really nice. The Toyota GT1. Now the second one. Now this one personally is my favorite from everything that you've sent me, and this is because it reminds me of the Dodge Challenger wide body. But that is indeed the Toyota Supra GR. Why this car? Why this picture?
Well, the Supra, a lot of people like that, and I think that is definitely something that we should have in the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
yellow
would say
and
it's
the
definitely
purple.
something we'll have in the game. But once again, you know, it's Toyota, so don't get your hopes up on that. But if there is ever going to be, you know, an actual Japanese update, like in some fantasy land where we do get Toyota, we can expect to look at something like this: 3.90 to 60, 88 handling, a top speed of 155, 73 RQ. In fact, like I told you earlier, this might be even more than 73 RQ with that handling, but who knows? But why I love this picture so much, like I said, it reminds me of the wide body because of the yellow, the bright yellow. The crop is similar to the wide bodies, but the wide body is looking, you know, the other way, and also the, you know, the epic. It's, you know, they're both epic, so it's a really good picture. But let's move to the third one now. Now this one I also really like, and I like how you even added the fact that you know, you added the tags like the Wild Ride and the Motorsport. But that is indeed the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution WRC. Why this car? Why this picture?
Well, the picture is pretty incredible, jumping in the air, and we definitely need more Mitsubishi in the game, definitely,
Yeah.
because we have no legendaries for them.
That is true. We don't have any legendaries,
not right.
but even if we get this, you know, it's gonna be a prize car most likely. Do you think it's gonna be a prize car? I feel like you do because you decided to put this over a prize cars. You have the prize car template. Like this car is only available in winning
I
events.
feel it would be just because there's probably a few that are a bit slower that they'd put in as not prize cars.
Well, I have a question for you. Since, you know, you've been doing all this Japanese cars, I'm sure you know a bit about Japanese cars, but or Mitsubishis in particular. If Mitsubishi gets a revamp, do you think that they will get legendaries that aren't prize cars?
Yes.
Do you know like any models
Yeah.
that might be legendary? I personally don't. So.
They would probably put a few rally cars as not prize cars.
Ah, that's fair, because they did the same with Peugeot as well, right? They added in, I think, like one
Yeah.
rally car, so yeah, it might be a similar situation there. But the last one that we have to talk about, obviously this is the only SUV that we're seeing in this video, but it's the Lexus RX 350F Sport. That's a really good picture, really, really high quality. I can even see like just the individual pebbles on the floor. But anything significant to why you wanted me to choose this car for the video?
We haven't had an SUV yet. It looks quite nice. That 0-60 is pretty good for an SUV.
So he's up for the
And
diversity.
the white on black.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the white on black looks really good.
Yeah, that's true. Something about white on black, and then, you know, with the red and the ultra red, it just works really well together. And once again, it's a really good picture. And you know, all in all, it's really cool. Like I said, it's kind of like in contrast to the Venturi picture. The Venturi was like the detail in the grass, simplicity in the sky. This one I see details everywhere, like in the background. But then the car itself is actually pretty simplistic because white is just, you know, plain. And even the car, like, it's a pretty simplistic looking car, I would say. Like, there's not too much detail to it besides a bunch of like triangles everywhere because it's a Lexus. But yeah, it's a nice picture for sure. But before we end off the video, I got to talk about your loading screen as well, about the Tokyo Takedown. So what inspired you to make this picture? Why those two cars that you chose to be, you know, the title cars, as you can say?
Well, the Supra is an icon, isn't it? The amount of people that like that, and the amount of younger people as well that they see one of them and they amazed by it. So that one had to go on there really, and the Japanese flag in the background and the Tokyo backdrop, I think it just all worked together.
Yeah, I would say that too. So anyway, anything else that you want to say about your update?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, well there you go guys. Those are 2 custom updates made by some 2 experienced custom car creators. We have indeed French Touch and Tokyo Takedown. 2 really good things for Hutch to consider about going to the future. I'm sure they already have, but like I said, I don't want to have any like false info coming through this video. Like these are all custom made by the fans, okay? So nothing of this is, you know, from Hutch or anything like that. And of course, do not ever expect Toyota to come to Top Drives. As much as you wish, you can wish, but don't expect Top Drives to get in Toyota, because that is super unlikely right now. But anyway, with that said, Automotive Gaming Experience, thank you so much for being in the video. Is there anything that you want to shout out before I close this off?
Follow me. That's it.
On your Instagram?
That's it. Yeah.
Alright, sweet. I'll have your Instagram in the link in the description then. And last but not least, Quarantine. What's up, man?
Like, maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel would be nice.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have an Instagram as well?
Yes, I do.
Alright, sweet. Well, if you guys want to check them out, I'll have their links in the description below. But once again, thank you so much to Automotive Gaming Experience and Quarantine for joining in for today's video. These guys are super talented. You should check them out. But with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. And remember to stay safe, wash your hands, blossom out.